Why does Masahiro Sakurai troll Super Smash Bros. Fans? Well, it's kind of because we deserve it. Yo, what's up everybody? This is Francis over here from Nintendo and PlayEssence.com. Welcome to another Super Smash Bros. Show. We have a nice show lined out for you guys. We're going to be discussing Little Mac's inclusion in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and 3DS. We're going to be talking about Chrom, Lucina, and Robin, and why Lucina and Robin are in, and why Chrom isn't. Sakurai has also detailed that a little bit. Plus, we're going to be discussing why Masahiro Sakurai trolls Super Smash Bros. Fans with character reveals and whatnot, and how it's kind of our fault why he does do that. Alright, so let's start off with some quotes from Masahiro Sakurai on Little Mac's inclusion in Super Smash Bros. For Wii U and Nintendo 3DS. Seeing as he's a boxing character, all he can use are his two fists, which places considerable limits on his movements and techniques, not to mention the fact that he's also pretty tiny. He's truly an interesting character though. First of all, his offensive capabilities on the ground are extremely high. He can close distances with a speedy sprint and counter with a powerful smash attack without flinching from weak incoming attacks. He can swiftly dodge an oncoming barrage, counter in a pinch, then blast the opponent away with a megaton punch to turn the tables. Little Mac also has his very own special system, the KO gauge. The meter fills as you dish out and receive damage. Once the gauge is completely full, you can unleash a deadly KO uppercut. Utilize this system well, and you can easily blast through your opponents. Little Mac is a force to be reckoned with. He's an adrenaline rush embodied, but he also comes with a glaring weakness. He's extremely clumsy in the air. His attacks are weak. He leaves himself wide open both while attacking and landing. He just flaps his arms around up there. It's pretty pathetic. His jump and recovery are also pretty unimpressive. He gets tossed off the ledge and he can easily prove fatal. He scores a lot of KOs in combat, but he also becomes KO fodder himself. So Masahiro Sakurai actually talked more about that. You can check out the description below to get the full comment. It's actually pretty long, but I am going to agree with what Masahiro Sakurai says with Little Mac. I used him at E3 and I fought against him at E3, and when I used him, he's very strong on the ground. He can give you 1-2s. He can do the KO uppercut. Trust me, you're gonna knock the crap out of people when you use Little Mac. But he's also pretty light. I don't think he's as light as Pit was in Super Smash Bros. Brawl, but I definitely think he's right around that level, and he's going to get knocked out a lot. I remember fighting against him when I was Greninja, and Greninja is not like a powerhouse brute. He's pretty much a middle tier type when it comes to smash power. And I smashed Little Mac out numerous times when he was like at 90 or even 80 something. I just did a little bit of a charge and I smashed him out of the arena. Little Mac is great on the ground and he's going to be a fantastic character a lot of people are going to use, but remember, his air game is so crap and he can get knocked out fairly easily. So I personally didn't like using Little Mac a lot just because I like using air characters where I can kind of get good recovery and have good moves in the air and meteor smashes, but Little Mac can't do that. So I know he's going to have his place, but I'm more of a Greninja type person. Little Mac is a double-edged sword just because he's so good on the ground, but in the air he's so horrible. So it's going to be very interesting when the game launches and see how players use Little Mac in the air, see how they use him on the ground, and just basically his overall balance compared to all of the other characters in the game. Alright, now we're going to move on to detailing a little bit about Chrom, Lucina, and Robin and how they are in the game and what Masahiro Sakurai said about each character. We just announced two new characters who will be joining the fray in the upcoming Super Smash Bros. For 3DS and Wii U. One is Robin, the avatar from Fire Emblem Awakening, and the other is Lucina, a swordswoman who plays an important role in the same title. I'll skip over the details. What? No Chrom? I suspect a lot of you will ask. Of course Chrom is quite popular, being the protagonist of Fire Emblem Awakening and all. However, I chose Robin and Lucina, and I will elaborate on my reasoning. Robin appears in-game as a tactician and functions much like a mystic knight from Final Fantasy terminology. I thought to utilize his all-around nature by assigning swordplay to the smash attacks, and magic tunes to his special attacks. His neutral special is thunder magic that grows stronger and larger as you charge it. He uses fire magic for his side special and wind magic for his recovery as his up special. Although Robin doesn't use dark magic in Fire Emblem Awakening, I decided to assign it as his down special. It isn't the first time I've given moves to a character they don't use in their respective game in order to capture a certain aspect of the original title. I also implemented the system used in Fire Emblem Awakening, which tunes break after overuse. Likewise, I included a similar system with the Levin Sword, which breaks after a certain number of uses. However, both the tombs and Levin Sword will quickly regenerate after a set period of time. Lucina uses the same techniques as Marth, a fighter whom I'm sure most of you are familiar with. I even went as far to make sure their strength, speed, and special attacks are almost identical. However, what sets Lucina apart is the fact that the strength of her attacks is uniform along with the blade. Marth's playstyle emulates the elegant swordplay of a fencer by dealing more damage when he strikes with the tip of his blade. But the damage Lucina deals is evened out. Thus, I think that Lucina will be much easier than Marth for novice players to play with. I played all the way through Fire Emblem Awakening and really wanted to include a character from that rich cast in Smash Bros. Naturally, I considered adding Chrom to the roster, but the decision wasn't easy by any means. At the end of the day, Chrom would just end up being another plain old sword wielder like Marth and Ike. Compared with other characters, he lacks any unique characteristics. Conversely, when the idea of including Robin came to mind, conceiving the character was so easy that I immediately saw how it would work. From the standards to specials, grabs to throws, all the aspects of his moveset just fell into place. Not only did he possess characteristics unlike other fighters, but he also captured the essence of Fire Emblem series. It was perfect. In the end, if a game isn't fun, then there's no point. Of course, it would be really easy to make a game by churning out a ton of similar characters, but that's not how I produce games. Initially, I had considered including Lucina as one of Marth's alternate costumes. After all, she has a close relationship with him in Fire Emblem Awakening. In such cases, even if two characters' names and voices differ, as long as they function the same way, I'll assign them as alternate costumes. The Wii Fit trainers, Villager, and Robin are the examples of this setup. However, even though Lucina shares her physical stats and techniques with Marth, the characteristics of their attacks differ. When two such similar characters function in even the slightest different manner, I will give them a separate spot on the roster since that will affect battle records and whatnot. In that sense, you could say she was very lucky to join the fray. So looking off the back of this, I personally thought that Chrom would be a character in there. I thought that they could differentiate him from the other sword wielders, but Sakurai thinks differently, and having Lucina and Robin was an idea that he thought. I personally love the fact that they have Robin in there. He's one of my favorite characters, believe it or not, even though he's an avatar for you to use, but he still has some personality in there. But honestly, I think that Masahiro Sakurai makes the right decisions, and it's his call with his game. Robin looks to be very interesting and cool as far as how they do that, and the fact that Chrom is not in the game, maybe he gets into the next one, and Chrom could be in the next Smash Bros. Years down the line, or maybe they even release DLC, who knows. They haven't announced how DLC is going to work, especially with the amiibo figurines and stuff like that. There is potential for Chrom to make it into the roster at some point. That was Sakurai's full quotes on Chrom, Lucina, and Robin. If you want to read more, you can check out the description below. That'll take you over to playersense.com, where you can also see more information on Little Mac's inclusion in Smash Bros. And you can see more on Chrom, Lucina, and Robin in Smash Bros. Now we're actually going to move on to the main topic here. So I've heard a lot of people get upset or make videos or be mad that Sakurai actually trolls his users, and they actually are visibly upset. It's not jokingly upset like when somebody says, oh, Sakurai trolled us, but actually really upset or offended that Sakurai kind of playfully teases us and does certain things to kind of troll the users as far as what characters are going to get in. And I said earlier that, yeah, you know, we kind of deserve it. And it's true, we do kind of deserve it. You know why? Because as fans, a lot of us troll Sakurai. All you have to do is go on Miiverse and check out some of the character requests. Some stuff that could never happen. And you guys know Nintendo and Sakurai goes through those Miiverse requests because Sakurai's always posting on Miiverse. And he gets trolled and he has really stupid comments directed towards him and really hurtful and mean things that some people say towards him when it comes to Brawl or when it comes to other games he's produced at him in those comment sections. So I personally think he trolls basically to not go insane, Otherwise, he'd be reading all these stupid requests from people and all these dumb things that are said to him and go crazy, especially when you consider how much work goes into Smash Bros. And how much work goes into actually knowing where these characters come from, having to implement a moveset, learning the games and doing all that. It's so much work most of you guys don't even know. But I want to read a quote from Sakurai. This was back in 2013, talking about how difficult it is to make Super Smash Bros. Games and how we as fans sometimes don't know or don't appreciate how much work goes into it. When you think about 3 years like that, that's the amount of time between entering middle or high school and graduating from it in Japan. You have all these people working their fingers to the bone to complete just a single project. The games I make tend to be played for a long time, and whether I'm satisfied with the results or there are things I'm not happy with, it always takes a lot of time to make. Every time, you know, I try to the point to where I think I can't go any longer. For example, I think pretty much the limit when it comes to creating characters for a Smash Bros. Is about 20. Counting those from older games, we remake them completely each time. After all, the teams, the personnel, the specs are all different. But we all go beyond what work calls for because we want to do our best to retain fans of each character. The Brawl team really put a lot of great effort. They remade all the original characters and they added 18 completely new ones. Even with Melee before that. That game was over twice as many characters as the original. And that doesn't include online support and all the assorted other features we've taken pains to complete under difficult circumstances. But the players don't know about how hard we work. That's not a problem because that's the case for any product. But it's important to remember that you can't take anything for granted. Projects take a while, and you run into difficult and painful times. Some people have to bow out of it. To be honest, I've sometimes thought about what I'm earning for myself, going through all this life-changing struggle. The pain I feel at the time goes away over time. And yet the game itself always remains. Players talk about the fun and so forth behind the game for years to come, and they still play it. Oftentimes, I am asked by the overseas media if I feel any pressure when making a title like Smash Bros. Like I've written before, on a personal level, I don't feel anything like the pressure. It's really fun to work. Sometimes you have to resign yourself to the fact that things will work out the way they're meant to work out. But you need to funnel your regrets to the next project and work as hard as you can on that. The pain goes away, but your work always remains. That quote is really telling for me. It shows that Sakurai, not only does he understand the nature of what he does and how important it is to people, but he also understands that there are a lot of people out there that don't understand what he does, but he understands that point of view from their part because all they see is the finished product. They don't see all the other stuff that goes on, and he talks about that a little bit. He alludes to how some people don't see the work that we do and they don't appreciate it, and telling people not to take things for granted. And that's what I'm talking about when it comes to Smash Bros. And that's what I'm talking about why he kind of trolls. Look at what he said. That was him being serious. If he wasn't having a playful nature with things, and if he didn't joke around and troll people and do the things that he did, he might bow out from the pain. The dude had chronic pain in his hand. I mean, what it takes to make a Smash Bros. Game, the lofty expectations and all that goes into it. The fact that he can just say, skip this, I'm done. I'm pretty sure he has enough money to do that. I'm almost pretty sure he can just basically retire at this point. So I mean, if you look at it, I think Sakurai really does certain things like that, the trolling, basically just to cope with it, as a coping mechanism. And us as fans, we shouldn't be so crazy if there's something that gets announced that we don't like. Like for example, even when the Fire Emblem characters were announced, people were upset that Lucina was a clone of Marth. Even though they added a brand new character that was awesome and it had such a completely different moveset from what we've seen before. Oh, well, Lucina's a clone, I hate that. It's like, we got a brand new character and you guys are complaining that they're adding Lucina just as something different. There's already going to be more characters than Super Smash Bros. Brawl. We've already went over that. There's going to be more newcomers that are going to be in there. Smash Bros. Is a unique experience that you can't find on any other system. And any other systems, any other companies that have tried to do it have not reached the quality that Smash Bros. And Sakurai has reached. So like I said, the reason why he trolls us is basically a coping mechanism. he sees that if he didn't do that, seriously, he might go crazy from this. We've all heard the stories of other developers going crazy, quitting projects, not being able to deal with the pressure. I mean, Final Fantasy is a perfect example of that, especially Final Fantasy 12. You can read up on stories about the development of that game and what happened to certain people that worked on that project. But in the end, I think we need to give Sakurai a pass because he does create pretty much the most popular fighting game in the world, and he is creating something that nobody else is doing out there. So cut him a break next time when characters are revealed. I think that Smash Bros is a unique experience that you're never going to get anywhere else. So be grateful for what we got and don't take anything for granted. But at the same time, we all know we're all paying money for this game, so we're entitled to have certain opinions, realize how much work goes into it. And before some people go off going crazy and making videos and rants and certain things about that, realize what Sakurai is doing and what his team goes through to create games for your enjoyment. Alright, so that basically wraps up this episode of the Super Smash Bros. Show. Make sure you give the video a like if you did like it. Also, make sure you check out playeressence.com for all your news, reviews, trailers, tips, and tricks. We got plenty of good stuff going up this week. And subscribe to my YouTube channel right here if you're someone new. Alright, thanks for watching, guys, and we will see you for the next episode. Peace.
The winner is